It's the Brian Noe Show.
Hail to the yes.
On NBC Sports Northwest, 620 Rip City Radio.
All right, very pleased to welcome in Allie Clifton, Lakers studio host for Spectrum Sportsnet, also the host of the Road Trippin' podcast. I need some honesty from you, Allie, because we do a segment each Friday called Shoutouts when we get crazy. Like, we have strobe lights, we have glow sticks, we just rage. We do like fist pumping and everything. And so I was doing that just a little bit ago. And honestly, my arm is like a little tired, you know? Like I feel the burn. So how sad is that from a female perspective, what I just described?
It's just sad that it's not happening right now. I want to partake in the rage. I want the glow sticks. I think it's incredible.
Would you like to be a guest on Shoutouts next week?
1,000%.
Let's do it. Let's absolutely
1,000%.
do it. Yes, I shouted you out because you are our next guest.
Oh.
So you were the final shout out. And then I raged the hardest for that. And I think that's where I really felt some tricep soreness.
And for that, I will forever, whenever you ask, whenever you want me to be a guest, lock me in all the time. You know, funny story, when you bring up glow sticks were a part of and probably the highlight of my wedding back in 2013. Our wedding reception, because we obviously had kids as well at the time. All families brought kids. It was open to everyone that we invited. And we thought, 3 hours into the reception, why not bring out glow sticks? It'd probably make a good photo, for us to hang on to. And the kids that were at the wedding loved it. But I think the adults actually loved it more. We had necklaces, we had bracelets. It was a whole shebang. So I get the glow sticks and I love them.
This is probably a stupid question, but when you join us next week, are you going to have glow sticks ready for the whole effect?
That would require me to order them, which I can do. If you want me to, I can.
I love the honesty. I love that it's like, that sounds like I have to do something. I don't know about doing things here.
Sometimes it's really hard for me to just show up. It takes a lot to get everything ready and around. But if you want me to order glow sticks and be a part of that, I will 100% do it for you.
No pressure, only if you want to, because I know that you're fond of glow sticks from your history that you just explained. So I love that. That's good stuff. Okay, Allie Clifton, let's dive into the Lakers for a little bit here. What's going on? 4-game losing streak. What seems to be the biggest problem outside of Anthony Davis and Schroeder being out?
I actually think that's it, to be honest. I think when you keep all things in perspective, which I think this team is doing such a good job of, no one likes to lose. It's the hardest part. You never want that to seep into any kind of culture that you were trying to establish. And they're also a organization and a team that I think, going back to last season, when a big part of their success and who they are as a team, when AD joined the Lakers, it's never been about excuses, and it's always been about finding ways in which, and through adversity, you can still build good habits. You can still find ways to win games. That's not happening right now. But I think you have to take a look at Anthony Davis and Dennis Schroeder and what they bring you night in and night out that they don't have right now. Obviously, it would be nice if Dennis does, in fact, obviously he's listed as probable to come back and play tonight if he does return. But they're going to be without AD for a while. So the mindset does have to shift and the adjustments do have to come. And so when you're thinking of 2 of your playmakers and 2 of your leaders on the defensive side of the ball are missing, it's taken a toll. And again, every team in the league is going through it. You also have to look at the side that there's not a lot of practice time going. And so what the Lakers are facing right now is adjusting without 2 of their big guns behind LeBron James. And it's paying a bit of a price right now. It's tough. The ball, the shots, they're not coming as this team is used to it. The one thing that they can't let slip is the defensive side of the ball. They're still number 1 in defensive rating, which is nice. You hope that will continue to hold with Dennis returning. But there's just a lot of things that need to be tweaked, a lot of things that need to be adjusted. And it's going to take some time, but I'm confident that this team will figure it out.
It's the Lakers. it's the defending champs, and there are a lot of people that, let's be honest, they root against the Lakers, and that fuels the overreaction of like, whoa, what's going on with the Lakers? Like, does this, especially this 4-game losing streak and the reaction to it, just make you roll your eyes where you're like, what are you freaking out about here?
Yeah, it's funny on our show, excuse me, we often play this game called Panic or Patience. And it's funny because sometimes we have to channel our inside and say, be patient, because we all want instant oatmeal. We all want it to go well. And look, the Lakers have prided themselves on not losing 2 games in a row, dating back to last season. And here they are on a 4-game losing streak. So, yeah, it's easy to get caught up in all of that. But I think when you cover the team, as I'm fortunate to do on a daily basis, you're easily reminded that health is number one. It's not on their side right now. But they still have tools. They still have ways in which they can get this thing turned around and figured out. And I'm confident, again, as I mentioned, that they will do so. So I turn my Twitter off, if you will, in certain moments, or at least turn my brain off to not look at Twitter. And that certainly helps me to remain patient versus panicking with the fan base.
That's a good way to look at it. She's Allie Clifton, Spectrum Sportsnet, also Road Trippin' Podcast. In terms of Anthony Davis, with the calf injury, and how big of a concern is that when you think about his injury history and you also think about Kevin Durant when he had the calf injury and it went way worse than that? Is Laker Nation freaked out about where AD is right now?
I wouldn't say they're freaked out about it. I would say that they are, if there's any aspect of what's going on right now that they are leaning into being patient, it's that. It's sit him down. It's make sure, because of, as you mentioned, not to mention the late, great Kobe Bryant was something that they all went through as well. And you know what happens when you lose a player to an injury like that, or you have a player on the verge of an injury like that. Then when you speak of Kevin Durant and all he went through, it seems all too real and soon. And so I don't think they're freaked out about it. I think they have a very clear understanding that he needs to take the proper time right now to make sure that that is 100%. This is where I remind myself and any chance I get to remind Laker Nation through our shows that this organization, this team is not about, it has the clear-cut understanding that you don't win championships here in February. You don't win them in March. And they are about the long haul. They're about being healthy when it matters most, which comes playoff time. And if you can sustain a certain level of play and a high level of play until he's able to return closer to playoffs, you put yourself back in a good position to where you ultimately want to be, and that's competing for an NBA championship.
It's an interesting game tonight. The Blazers have lost 3 straight. Lakers have lost 4 straight. Like, what are you feeling? Like, what's your gut feeling heading into this game as to who might win?
You know, it's interesting because they both want to win, right? They both want to end what they're going through. They both have that kind of edge and that spirit about them. And I think it's been on the Portland Trailblazers side when it comes to coming into Staples Center. They seem to really handle and take care of business. And so we had it on our show last night. One of our guests said that the streak would end for the Lakers tonight, and someone said that it would end on Sunday, giving the nods to the Blazers. I'm just excited to see 2 teams that are really going through the thick of it all with very similar things. You know, the injuries to CJ McCollum and Nurk, but Dame continuing to have a hell of a season and leading the Blazers with where they are right now, despite the losses. I know they had that nice 6-game winning streak when they were playing so well. I mean, I watched the other night when Melo just looked vintage Melo against Denver during that stretch there in the second quarter. But for the Lakers, I think it's, we got to take care of home court. We're getting Dennis back. That's always a nice surge of energy there. So I'm going to lean towards the Lakers getting the win tonight. You can't be surprised by that pick. And hopefully they get it done.
I guess building off of that in a different direction, the talk about Kobe being the new NBA logo. Like, first off, what are your thoughts on that? And 2, if you're in LA and you have a platform and you're like, yeah, I just don't think that's the way they should go, how would that play in Los Angeles?
I don't think it would play very well. especially because, I watch the NBA Jump every single day. And knowing that Jerry West himself, we all know the position, the mentor, and what Kobe meant to him seeding that and knowing that he would sign off on that. It is one of the greatest things, ideas, pays of homage, if you will, respects that I think we could do as a league, as a whole. I think that it would be an awesome move, and I would love to see it happen when and if that time comes. I think the big debate here in LA right now is what would the logo be? Mm-hmm. Robert Ory said on our show the other day he wanted the Afro 8 Kobe. We saw what Kyrie Irving posted, and that's a different kind of look for Kobe. What would that logo look like? I think it would be an awesome gesture and one that many, many would be in support of.
I'm open to the idea. It has to be another legendary logo because let's be honest, this is the Nike swoosh. These are the golden arches. And I'm not against Kobe being the new logo, but it has to be a great logo. The silhouette version of the picture you're talking about, Kobe looks like he's 500 pounds. Like, that's not going to work. That's not a good logo.
Can't we edit that? I mean, come on. It's 2021. Photoshop. Like, we all can figure out a way. I agree. It has to be done right. Because if there's one thing that you need to do for Kobe is get it right. Yeah. But I think, however that comes about, if he is the staple, if we know when we look at the NBA logo from here on out that is Kobe Bryant, that hits differently. And I don't think you can argue it.
Okay, Allie Clifton, I have to ask you about the Road Trippin' podcast because you've got your fancy studio over there, and I love it. It's like, is it still a podcast when you have that fancy of a studio? I feel like you're in a different realm than just a podcast now.
Because of my tree and my fur?
No, like the actual studio road trip when you go to the studio.
The studio show.
It's highly fancy behind you as well. But I'm referring to the studio.
Weekly, this is where I record. So I was like, I think that's where we want it. It's funny that you say that because I think that's our goal. We ultimately want it to be a show. Because I think the one thing we have learned, and this dates back to 2017 when we started Road Trippin', after the first 30 episodes or maybe 20 episodes, we did a live podcast at a local brewery in Cleveland, Ohio. And I think people just soaked up and loved the reactions, the facial expressions that the guys give, the thoughts that you could just see rather than just hear. So it is different, but I think that is the goal. It's where we're heading. It's where we want to be. And at the end of the day, I feel like nowadays, whether it's a show or not, the audio is pulled anyways. So it can always be a podcast for those that love podcasts and love to just listen. But it does take us up a notch. It makes us feel a little bit bigger, if you will, being in the studio, not surrounded by fur and trees, but, an actual professional setting.
Totally.
Kind of like yours.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Where do you stand on the Yeti cups? I've been noticing RJ and LeBron, they ride hard for Yeti. Where are you on the Yeti meter?
Wow, you are very observant. I love that. I am all about Yeti. I come from the Midwest. We like to keep our things cold, if you will. So I'm a big advocate for it. And actually, I was the one that went out and got those glasses. And I thought when we did that LeBron episode, I was like, uh-oh. Is this going to be a conflict of interest for anything that LeBron's a part of? But he held that cup with strength and grace. And I was like, we're going to do it. And maybe Yeti will notice, like you have. I would be all for it if Yeti wanted to get in on some action with Road Trippin'. It's
funny. I hadn't even really thought about that, where when you think of, say, Tiger, when he made that chip in and the swoosh, the ball hung on the lip, and they say it's worth X amount of advertising dollars. To have LeBron hold a product for that long is worth a lot of advertising dollars.
What's so funny is then when he brought out his Lobos tequila, he had to make the change to the glass. It's all about the presentation, and I get it. It's so funny, but I'm like, Richard and I continue to drink said tequila out of the Yeti, and it does its justice. It does exactly what it says it's going to do. It's going to keep your drink cold, and you're going to look good drinking it. So, I mean, I hope Yeti's listening to this show right now. Maybe you and I could both get a sponsorship.
Right? I'd be up for that.
My new podcast speaker for home recordings on Road Trippin' is called the Yeti X.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, yeah.
You ride
know,
hard.
right?
I didn't realize. You do. Yeah. What is,
Yeah.
I don't know if you can think of it off the top of your head, but what is either your favorite road tripping story or conversation? Like, what was the topic or the moment that stands out the most?
You know, it's funny. I actually get asked this a lot, and every single time I draw a blank. But the one, because I think that it's just like there's so many stories, right? And not only do I sit there and host the podcast, but then I also edit the podcast. So there's a lot of like ingrained in my head stories, moments, thoughts, frustrations at times because of all the editing I have to do. But the one episode I always go back to is Tim Duncan. And I think it's just because at the time the podcast was still so new. I think it's one of the first 15 episodes we did. And I learned at that time, obviously we knew that Tim Duncan was not one of those that loved speaking a lot, loved talking a lot to the media. We never really heard from him unless we had to, or, he obviously served his media obligations during his playing career. But the stories he told, I mean, we showed up at the practice facility to record that the night before Cavs Spurs back then. And our driver drops us off, and in front of us was a man on a motorcycle. And we were like, wait a minute, is that Tim Duncan? Like, pulled up to the episode on a motorcycle, leather jacket, the hell, all of it. And then he sits there and he tells us that he names his daughter after a Marvel character who was just recently born. And you know, him and Channing playing World of Warcraft and their names. It's just like those stories is what road tripping is all about. And if we hadn't created this, I don't know if we'd ever hear him from Tim Duncan. I had no idea that he has a body shop and is a part of a car business. And Richard currently has a vehicle of his right now in that shop. I mean, it's just, those stories are just the ones that I live for, and it what keeps us hungry and wanting to do road tripping. And so I think that's my favorite one, to be honest. And if we could have him back on, I mean, he like fly fishes. Like, who would have ever thought Tim Duncan was a fly fisherman? I had no idea.
It's hilarious you said that, because that's basically exactly where I was going. Because I feel like I have to ask you something off the wall if I ask this standard question that you get thrown at a lot, right? Like, I got to go off the rails here, you know? So, fishing. Have you ever caught a bass, Allie Clifton? Being from Ohio, have you caught a bass before?
I have. Every year. It's so funny. My father, my grandfather, my uncles, my cousins, they go to Canada for a week and they fish. That's all they do. It is a very early call time. They catch their fish. They reach their limit that you can catch. They come back, they clean them, they bring them home, and we eat them throughout the year. This past year, when we were home almost a year ago, they went up to Lake Erie and they went fishing. I know you asked me if I've ever caught a bass. I have. I was very little, but this is such a part of our family. And they went, and it was, it was the best fish I ever ate. They caught so many of them on Lake Erie.
Perch. Bluegill.
No.
Catfish.
Walleye. My husband's right here. Walleye. You heard me. Walleye.
Yeah.
They reached their limit. I think it was like 18 for the day. Came back. We fried them up. Fabulous dinner. Fried potatoes, applesauce, coleslaw. It is like fishing, just being out there. I grew up on a lake with my family, and so we learned at a very young age. Started with bluegill. Have gone out with my uncle, bass fishing in the early mornings, as I mentioned. So, yeah, I think that's probably why I was so intrigued with Tim Duncan fly fishing, because I've never gone fly fishing. But I have caught myself a bass.
I have not, Allie. It's one of my horrible things in life. I have not checked that box yet. I've never caught a bass. I'm not like some crazy fisherman, but I've been out enough where I should have a bass, and I don't have a bass.
I've actually reached this point in my life where I get so impatient waiting, you know? And you have to sit there and be quiet. And you have no service, no cell service. So you can't have your phone. Yeah.
It's different, right? Yeah, you're used to getting everything rapid fire style, where social media. Yeah, fishing is the opposite.
How about this question then for you? Are you okay with baiting your own hook.
Oh, yeah, totally. Now, that's the problem, Allie Clifton. This leads us to the summertime. So we went fishing numerous times, never used live bait. Coincidentally, we didn't catch jack ever, right? Like, I don't even know what we were putting on these hooks.
That's why you're okay with baiting your own hook, because it wasn't live?
No, that's the way it worked out. Like, I use live bait, but I don't even know what we were using. I'm like, why aren't we using live bait? And it'd be like, here, put like these yellow things on your hook.
They're actually kind of cool. Sparkly little, jelly things on there.
We didn't catch anything, Allie. The fish were like, seriously? They were basically flipping us off. Like, we're going to eat that? Are you serious right now?
Yeah, like, you got me there. No, thanks.
Yeah, it didn't work.
Oh, yeah. As a kid, I used to dig through all the dirt to find the worms. And we always, I'm sure all of us in my family have ate a worm as a bet when we were little. That's what we do. So, yeah, Allie Clifton ate a worm when she was little.
Wow, you guys you're deep in the game. I didn't realize, like, you're eating worms.
We go hard for our fish.
That's great. All right, Allie Clifton, always a pleasure. And we're going to hold you to it. Next Friday at 11:11 sharp. That's when Shoutouts begins. And we go for only a couple of minutes. But anybody in the sports world or beyond that deserves some credit, we shout them out. And that's it. That's what we do. It's a tradition here on the show.
Okay, so you'll send me all the info?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'll send you something so you can see it. I'll, like, cut up a little, like, video so you understand the concept, and you'll be good to go.
Okay, perfect. Hit me up.
You're awesome, Allie. Well, have a good day. Enjoy the game tonight.
Thanks so much.
All right, thank you. There she is, Allie Clifton, Spectrum Sportsnet, Road Trippin' Podcast, host extraordinaire.